Hello family, Ken Mills here once again with World of Comedy 5 Entertainment. So to give you the idea of what Unbiased is, we always see things on social media and also in the world where we wonder what is the thought process behind these idiotic things that people do. We're going to give an honest, unbiased opinion. So with that being said, we're going to cover several different topics. These topics will start from mental health, addiction, finance, incarceration, relationships. We're going to be truly unbiased this season. So remember, tune in at 8 p.m. Check us out on Boss Up Houston Network.
Wanna be a boss? You're watching Boss Up Houston Network. It's Boss Up Houston, where we look up, stay up, and boss up.
This is Boss Up Houston, where we look up,
stay up.
Look up, stay up, and this is Boss Up Houston, where we look up, stay up, and boss up.
Wanna be a boss? Let's talk business. Let's talk fashion. Let's talk health, fitness, community, lifestyle, and finance with Boss Up Houston, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. It's Boss Up Houston, where we look up, stay up, and...
Welcome family, we're back here again. I hope y'all enjoyed last week with Further Game. Smack Show put it down last week, he put it down for the brothers. This week, it's going to be a different type of energy. You see this woman to my right, I've known her for a very long time. She's family. She's an entrepreneur, a loving mother, a wife, and also a nurse. Y'all give it up for Myeshia Toliver.
Yes. Hey, how you doing? My name is Myeshia Toliver. I'm not a nurse, but I do work in materials management at Unbiased, supply chain. So I am just as important as a nurse.
That's right. Cause if you ain't got that mask, that's your ass.
You better believe it. We gotta have it on all day long.
So Myeshia, you know, I want to touch base with you. So number one, like I just told the audience, I've known you for a very long time. And from growing up, you always had a certain spirit about you where you wanted to do your own thing. You was a trailblazer, you was a leader. People can see you very fashion forward, but just kind of tell the people, you know, how you began, how your upbringing was, everything.
Okay. So as far as my upbringing, my dad raised me. My mom started off raising me, then I ended up living with my dad. My dad took custody of me. Then, you know, my grandmother, I ended up staying with my grandmother. I was raised by my grandmother, so I had a man perspective of life, and I had a woman perspective of life, and a real woman, because she didn't have men running in and out her house. I didn't see that. So, you know, we all say, I've learned to change, you know, saying that kids are raised by what they see, or, you know, you can be good to your kids and your kids still turn out bad. But I was never a bad child. I was always on board, and I loved people, and I had a big heart. So I just wanted to be around people and people that love me, you know. So I pretty much, you know, raised up on the east side with my mom, then came over to the north side with my dad, Fontaine, Shady Timbers, and, you know, kind of grew up, had my baby at 21. So I started out early, and then I was out of 4 girls, I was the only one with a baby. So at that age, my grandmother bought me a house, and I ended up raising my sisters in that house. So it taught me I had to grow up faster than most of my friends. So, and then I ended up getting married before a lot of my friends. So me becoming, you know, a mother figure, sister, then a wife, I just always try to keep a good spirit no matter what. And I haven't always had a good life, but through my good life, I still smiled. You know, you wouldn't be able to tell I was hurt. You would know. So it's always good to check on your strong people, because you never know. But you're not going to know until you ask me. If you ask me, I'll tell you. And then you be like, damn. You know?
So how did you find the inner strength to go through whatever you went through? We're going to get to what you went through in a moment, but I just want to paint a picture for the audience, like your inner strength. Where did you get that from?
I mean, if I don't do it, who else going to do it? That's just how I feel. Because if I give up, I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? What good am I dead? You know? My baby look up to me, my sisters look up to me, my friends look up to me. I feel like they need me just as well as I need them. So I just can't lay down. I never had that, you know. We all fall short, but I just can't stay there in that bad space. It's like it take me a little minute, hurt lasts a little while, but you'll get over it.
So when you start to talk about hurt, so what were some of the things that caused some of the hurt that you experienced?
Started off like relationships with my mom, relationships with my little girl dad. That taught me early, so I had a bad experience young to know that's not what I wanted, you know. So I knew early in the game, okay, after this, and then I've always had long-term relationships. I was never in short-term relationships. I don't go on dates. I don't care for that. You know, if I'm into a person, I'm into that person. So I'll be trying to see, you know, what all this person has to offer. So it's just like he taught me a lot, and he taught me the things that I do want, I don't want, and what I'm not gonna stand for, what I'm not gonna let happen. And he made me a vocal person, because I used to didn't be vocal. Right,
because I remember when we were young, you was very. Most of my audience wouldn't understand this word, but I'll explain it to you. You were very demure. You sat back, you were quiet to yourself. You would speak up, but you wouldn't just be very outgoing with it.
I wouldn't keep on, no. I said what I had to say, and I'm pretty much done with it. In my head, I know what I'm going to do, you know. But it takes a lot, too, for me to get there, because I got to see where you going with what you're saying and how you're acting. I think I'm a person that go out for moves and just people. However you act with me is pretty much how I'm going to act with you. It's like, you know.
Right. So you did bring up your daughter's father. And for the audience, her daughter's father is my deceased first cousin. Better yet, that was my twin. So what y'all don't realize is his birthday is probably 9 days before mine. So when we were growing up, we used to be together every day until we was 25. So I was there, and I seen, and I seen everything. And I was, matter of fact, I was around when your daughter C-Asia was born. And that was a pivotal moment. That was something that the entire family, like I know my auntie, everybody, when she was born, that was like a huge situation.
It was big. She was the first grandchild for my dad and for his mom, and it was just, it was exciting. And it was exciting for both of us, because it was both our first child, and we were so young.
Right. Because I remember when we were young, like, and this is why I kind of get on the youngsters with social media. Like, if we would have had social media when we were growing up, we would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
We would have been in trouble because we were able to learn things and grow without it being in the public eye.
I don't think we wouldn't have had so much fun. See, back then we went to family reunions and everybody went to the family reunions.
Right.
We had Sunday dinners, everybody went. If one cousin had some, everybody went. It wasn't no, oh, I'm gonna stay at home or I'm not going. No, you don't have no choice to go.
Right.
You know, back then skating ring 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, we called, get over to the payphone and call and hey, come pick me up from the skating ring. And our parents was okay with it. Now, well, it's 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you gotta be out. It was 3 o'clock for us. It was just so different, and we wasn't always on social media.
Right. And I think some of the narratives that's being run on social media is that younger females, in order for them to dress a certain way, in order for them to have certain things in life, that they dependent on a man. And what I've noticed is over time that you've never been dependent. You always been a go-getter. Mm-hmm. Always been a go-getter. So kind of inform us, like, where did that come from? Did that come from your father, your grandmother?
Well, it came from my father, because when we was in school, 11th grade, I was already working. It was Eckerd's back before Walgreens and all that. I worked at Eckerd's, and then I worked at Sonic. You know, I've always had jobs, and I had a car, so I had this old Wrangler or 93 Cutlass, and my daddy used to be like, oh, you're gonna pay the insurance? I paid the insurance back then, so I knew what it was like to pay bills, because I'm like, this all my check. My dad's like, no, you're gonna take that check and pay your bills, and if you need something, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm like, no, you're not. You're a little cheap. You ain't gonna give it to me. But you know, he gave me what I needed, not always what I wanted, but I did get things, you know what I'm saying? So I was used to having stuff, you know. But my daddy was like, you gonna work. You know, you gonna work. And then I know if I wanted certain things that I had to work, because my daddy couldn't afford certain things. You know, I get the shoes and stuff like that, but it's like other stuff that I wanted growing up. You want other things, but I never wanted to do, I don't want an orange suit to do it. I don't want, you know, so it's like, let me work, you know. So I always worked, and then I've been good to people. I never burned my bridges, so people always help me.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's one thing. People always do, like, sometimes people feel like they done got ahead, and they'll just be like, screw that person, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But loyalty and being real and also having that principle is the most important thing in the world, because you never know what might happen. Things always go up, but they got to come down.
Oh, for sure. That's why I never burn my bridges. Me and my friends, we don't talk all the time, every day, but when we talk, it's pretty much the same. And I pretty much can call somebody. When I worked at Harris County 7 years ago, I did 12 years there. I called a girl today, hey, can you give me such and such number? This, oh yeah, what you been doing? You know, it's just like that. You always keep those good bridges. So if I need to file something in the courtroom, because I have a lot of different titles under my belt. Whatever it is, if I can save money, I do it myself. So, you know, I'm like filing paperwork, you know, so I'm like, hey, I need this paperwork to go through. Can you make sure this paperwork go through instead of having to go through a longer process? I know the process, so let me try to skip the process, buy you a little lunch and slide my paperwork through, you know? So I always try to keep good bridges.
So going to the Harris County, like, what was your function there? What was you doing in there?
I started off as an assistant clerk, and then before I left, I ended up being a lead clerk. The thing about that, you know, the salary, it was the same. The job was like salary versus me getting a check and you getting overtime. I'm like, man, I gotta do something different. This money is not, it's not enough, you know. And then with LeBrie, he always did so many different things. So it's like, man, let me see what else I can do and what else I can pick up. So it's like along the way, I picked up other hobbies, because you can't have just one job. You have to have about 10 jobs just to make it nowadays, because the bills is so high, gas is so high. I just filled up my truck, it was $93. So it's like, I gotta be able to do different things. So that's why I make pillows, I sell a hair oil. If people call me, I made a graduation cap. I mean, I'm pretty much, I like crafting. So if you call me and be like, hey, can you do this? Can you put this couch back together? I'm finna see can I finna put this leg back on here and get paid for this leg. Hair bows, it's pretty much anything. If somebody asks me, I'm gonna see if I can do it.
So how did you start to get into that, like doing the tapestries and everything?
Well, I ended up having surgery on my leg, so I was off work for a while. So while I'm off work, I just can't sit still.
Right.
I have to be doing something. And so I started off with hair bows, and hair bows is, you know, we have a lot of girls out here, but women ain't finna go around here paying out $5 and $10 for no hair bows when they can go to beauty supply. But mine was a little different. So, you know, I would get customers, but that wasn't enough money for me. $5 and $10, that wasn't enough. So I got into decor. I like decorating. So I started making couch pillows. I started making sets. Then I started making memory pillows. You know how many people passing around here? Who doesn't want a memory pillow of their loved one that they can hug on and hold on to, and it's so plush you can even cry on it. It's not gonna fade. You know, so that's why I make my money from that. But what people don't understand, you know, when you say your price is your price, you can't go to, I can't go to these certain places and be like, hey, can I get a deal on this pillow? CVS make pillows. They $60 and $80. You can't get no deal. So when I make mine, I don't have no deal neither. I have to buy my ink. I have to buy my paper. So I'm like, this is my price. My price is my price, and it's really not that bad of a price. It's just people don't like to pay.
But you know what it is, like black people in general. We'll go to the Galleria and we'll go spend $500 on some big retarded people shoes. We'll go buy an ugly purse. But when it comes to somebody who got something that we know, we'll try to lowball them. Like if you say your price $75, they want to give you $60. They want to call in a favor. Y'all gotta stop that.
Yes.
It's black entrepreneurship. If this woman putting in her work to make something of value, he'll give her more than what she asked for.
Yeah, they'd rather go to the store and buy their hair drops out the store than buy yours or support you. It's just crazy, and it's like that. But it doesn't bother me none, because I'm gonna go to my job and I'm gonna sell my hair drops. Before I leave in the day, I'm gonna make 20 every day. I make some kind of money. So I'm cool with that. Some days I wake up and I'll be like, damn, I'm broke. Before the end of the day, I'm gonna have $200-$300, maybe $500. You know what I'm saying? 60, 70, I'm gonna have something. I'm gonna be able to eat, feed myself, put gas. It's been a minute. For the last 2 years since I've been doing my pillows and my hair oil, I keep in my side hustles. I do invoices. I pretty much do paperwork. I can file any kind of paperwork. So it's like, you know, people ask me all kind of things. I have a civil case going on. When I went and turned the paperwork in to the attorney, and me and him talked, and I told him I worked at the courthouse, and he was like, man, I need you. You know, I remember you. He said, you probably high dollar. I said, no, I'm not high dollar, but you do have to pay me. I want something. I need something. We can talk about the price. I don't have a problem with it. You know, and in my head, I'm like, that's blessings. You know, then me coming here talking to you, I'm like, that's blessings. I've been getting more and more blessings as I've been doing good and just, you know, doing what I have to do.
Because see, this is the thing. And the whole concept of the show is, number one, we uplift the black community. Also, we for entrepreneurship. So with that being said, if it's somebody that I know, like if I know and I love them to death, and I know they trying to do something entrepreneur-wise, and they need that assistance, why would I hold back? Why would I not help them?
Why not? You know, shout out to Trill Wit, food be great. Raina, Bird, food be great. I go to work at 3 in the morning, so my main job is MD Anderson. And I get up 3 in the morning to 11:30 for work. So, you know, I be tired. I can't cook most days. I love home cooked food, so it's like their food is pretty much good, so I support them. I'd rather go spend my $20 with them, $25. I'm not looking at the fact, well, dang, I can go to churches or McDonald's and spend $5, $10. No. I'm finna go support my black people where I'm gonna get a whole full course meal, and it's good, and it sits on me for a while, you know.
So where can we find them? Like, who are these people that you mentioned?
Well, I know Trill Whitney. She's on Instagram. She should be on the Trill Treats of Trill Whitney. Yeah. Then you can. She's on Wayside. Raina, she's around here. She be at the. Let me see. She be around, you know. She's not really Instagram, but she more so be at the like gambling shack and stuff like that. So, you know, car wash, anywhere she pull up to and sell her place, but she's a good friend of mine. So that's how I know her. But yeah, they black entrepreneurs, and I mean, I call them. Yeah, anybody, when I go out to eat, I kind of search black restaurants to go eat it. You know, I want to spend my money with the black people because I used to didn't want to spend my money with black people because their attitudes and how they act. But it's like you got to support your black people. You never know what a person going through. You know, you might caught them on a bad day because I have bad days. It might not have been a good day, but once you talk to a person, it's different. You know.
Yeah, I can understand that, but what I don't understand, like I watch, you know, online, I might look at the black-owned restaurant deal. They got like the little group, and I see people scamming folk. Well, they ask people, hey, can we cater your thing? And then they give the people the money, and then they just run off with the folk money, don't give them nothing, or they give them something that's very subpar. That's the only part of the game I don't like. And normally by word of mouth, I find out who that is. I won't bash them, but I'm not going to support them. But I'll also let my viewers and my people know who they need to talk to rather than going to people and try to do the trial out thing. That's why I was like, if you speak high to them, what we need to do, if y'all viewing in the comments, and that's you, Trill, Whitney, Raina, y'all put y'all information down. We're going to get y'all some burn. And they strictly on the north, or do they go everywhere?
And pretty much you call her, I think she delivers some, but she has a nice little house that she set up in, and she has a certain time, really between 1 and 3. If you hit up on Instagram and put it in her little inbox or text and let her know, hey, I want to play. She has so many she'll sell a day, but if you let her know, she'll have it ready, and you just pull up to her little spot, and I'm very nice and clean, smells good. And get your plate. You know, she got that Kool-Aid that I don't want to, you know, that nigga-aid. It's good. It's good. It's just right. Like, it is just right.
Now, they better have some healthy options.
Yeah.
You can't just put the people into diabetes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to put y'all in diabetes. Now, eat in moderation at the same time. Y'all need to go work out. That's what I'm trying to tell my people. Look, y'all see what I did. I ain't work out, but I paid for the surgery. I worked out when I pulled my pocket out.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. That's why I tell people, you don't have to explain to people out here what you did for what. It doesn't matter. Everybody gonna have an opinion whether you had surgery or not, whether you lost it on your own or not. They always gonna have an opinion of you. It don't matter how big my heart is or how I feel, how good I feel I am to people. It's just people that just don't like me. Me, I don't care. I'm my mama's oldest child, and I feel like that's what how I've been moving. I care, but I don't. I gotta be like, okay, I'll think about that later. I can't think about that right now because it's gonna stop me.
Right. Cause I'm gonna tell you like this, Myeshia. You always been the most player female I knew, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like even dating back, your daughter father Casey, when we all used to be around each other, I see you was the most player one. Like you had your mind right, you weren't worried about no hater. If it was a problem, you handled it the right way. We ain't never seen you off no. So getting back to that era, like what was one of the major lessons that you learned throughout that era, throughout that time frame?
Pretty much patience. I used to didn't have patience, and dealing with somebody who didn't have patience and the trauma that I went through with my little girl dad is just like, once I got out of that 10-year span, I'm like, my next relationship, I didn't take what happened to me in that relationship to my next one, but I did tell myself, I'm going to open up more and I'm going to let a person know how I feel. So, sometimes people think I'm mean and rude, but I'd rather tell you off the bat, hey, I don't like that or that bothers me, than for you to sit there and think it's okay to do it, because it's not. We're going to stop it now. We ain't going to keep on going down the line and then be like, hey, man, that really bothered me. But at this time, that shit old. You know what I'm saying? You should have said something then. So I learned to say something then. And if you don't like it, we can talk about it then. And we're going to hash it out at the end of the day. Because to me, it's not an argument. It's a debate. We just talking. We having a conversation. It's a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I like conversations. I don't have a problem with it. I don't feel like it's not a right and wrong in every relationship. We stand wrong to get it right. That's how I feel. Let's get it right.
Yeah. Well, you better than me. You way better than me, because
why?
I have no understanding on certain things. Certain things I'm zero tolerant. I don't understand certain things. I'm working on it.
You have to, because you gotta hear that person out. me and LaBree, we had our spats about me not listening because he say certain things and I just spaz out, or I say certain things and he spaz out. So our span of our year, you know, separation, we got better at listening. We listen a little bit more, co-parenting. It, you know, it's cool for me, you know. So it's like, you will see where you fail at and what went wrong, and you want to make it better. You don't want to keep on, you want to break that cycle, you know.
So, just for the audience, she did mention Mr. Toliver, LaBree, your husband. So, kind of give us a little bit of insight, like understand. So, just to paint the picture, you're with your little girl father. Y'all did your own thing, but he did pass.
Yeah, he passed, and LaBree came to the funeral. I thought that was, you know, pretty much, it was sweet, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We was friends first, and then we pretty much grew up together. So when a person go that far and show you how much they like you, you have to give them a chance. You have to open up and see, you know, what's going on. So over the years, we have helped each other, and I thank him a lot for helping me raise my baby, because my baby called him daddy. So, you know, that's the daddy she knows, you know, and he's always there. You know, they had their little spats, but she gonna call even when me and him have our spats. She don't get into that, our spats. You know, that's her daddy. That's how I raised my child, and raised my child to get in my business. I raised my child to stay out my business, because at the end of the day, we're grown. You know what I'm saying? You don't get in grown people's business. You don't know if they're gonna be back together or not, or what have you, but you do voice your opinion, and sometimes she be right. She'll call me sometimes and mess my head up, and she be like, Mama, you need to do this and you need to do that, and I'm like, you know, and she'll call him, hey daddy, you know, this don't look good and this and that. You know, I feel like we did a good job with her, because I'm seeing her grow into a young lady, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow.
And she made 21 last week.
May 15th, she made 21, and I called her. I'm like, what you want to do for your birthday? I'm like thinking about getting the love. She like the Zydeco. We go Zydeco and get cake, and you know, she like, nah, I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to do none of that. She was like, I don't want to do nothing. I'm like, we're gonna do something. I don't want to do nothing. So my sister ended up calling her. They ended up setting it up for us to go to Papa Do's. Very simple, nothing but immediate family, very immediate, and she was happy with that. She was satisfied, and she was finally legal to drink, because she used to use my ID. I feel like this. I don't have a problem. I'd rather my child to come talk to me. I don't want my child to hide nothing from me. You know, I know when we was younger, I didn't take my baby to block parties. I kept her away from that. I wanted her to be old enough to know or do it on her own, you know. I feel like, you know, I didn't want my baby to be lame. My baby was pretty much raised with me and my sister. She was the only child growing up, so she grew up with us, kind of like a sister, you know. So she learned a lot, and it's pretty good, because to me, she not a hoe. She not out here hoeing, or she not out here slutting, or she just don't. It's, you know, you can talk to who you want to, but having sex is a different thing. And I'm not hearing her name for having sex with this person, that person, you know. So I feel like I done good, and I succeeded with raising my babies and my kids, my grandkids. I love my grandkids. So it's like, I feel like I did a good job. So now it's like my time. It's my time. I'm 41, finna be 42. It's my time. I raised my kids.
See, because I take it back. I remember when we went on that trip when we were 21, they took us to the casino. So that was a far cry. See how things change, but
Yeah.
you know, I applaud you. You know, you raised a real woman. She 21, so you can say she a real woman.
Yes, working woman. She worked. You know, she'd have been a PA. She'd have been in Billings, Montana. And she, you know, like I told her, travel. When my baby was young, I went and got her arm, the implant in her arm, because kids not going to tell you when they having sex. But I know you at that age where you going to be having sex, but I want you to have a life and know that having a baby for a man, you know, you got to have, it's more life than it, you know, than being a baby mother or wife, you know, it could come later. I want you to have a career. I wish when I was younger, I had somebody to sit me down and I already had my career planned out. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So it took me forever to know what I want to do. And I keep changing over the time, but it's like I'm trying to instill it in her now. You know, what you gonna do, what you want to do. She told me, oh, I want to be a mechanic. I'm like, a mechanic? Girls don't be mechanic. Your coochie gonna be stinking all day. So she told me one day, she said, Mama, I remember when you told me that. I said, yeah, because I just didn't want you to be a mechanic. I didn't know what else to tell you. I want you to be an engineer, do something else. No, not a mechanic, you know. She used to want to ride dirt bikes. It's just, she was always different.
Yeah, because, you know, going back to her father was adventurous and he was good with his hand too. If I take it back, I remember we used to be at my Aunt Jack's house and he used to do my oil. And it'll take him probably 3 hours to do my oil because he gonna stop, he gonna talk, he gonna go over here, he gonna go to Timmy Chan, he gonna go up the street, what was the dude name, Bobby Earl?
Oh, at the end down there.
The game room.
Oh yeah.
He gonna go down there.
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
the name of the game room down there.
I gotta go somewhere, man. What is you doing? But now, see, it all come together, and I know that your husband, he does a lot with his hands too. Like he does carpentry, and kind of talk about, like, I know he has a business where he remodels homes and everything.
Yeah, he pretty much do everything. You know, get a house and gut it from inside out, and from the kitchen to the bathroom to the carpet. He pretty much not gonna call anybody unless he cannot do it or the problem keeps occurring. Then he'll call somebody. But he's not pretty good. He's real good with his hands, you know. I gotta give it to him. He has come a long way. I watched him from start to beginning. Every day after work, I used to get off of work just to come over there and watch him and see what he did so I can critique it and tell him, oh this, oh that, you know. But he was always good, and it was amazing to see how I started to how I ended. And you know, we raised our kids in the house from not having no top cabinets to having top cabinets and having no floor to a floor. So our house have went through so much, you know. But it's like, it's a blessing to now come from one house to you having 6 homes, you know. Yeah, most people don't have that. So, and my baby looks up to that, and she know what she wants and she gets. So it's like, you gotta kind of top daddy. You gotta be like daddy. You gotta be getting some money like daddy. You can't just be out here doing nothing. And then she like things. She like clothes. She almost like me. So I'm like, hey, you gotta work. You gotta get up here and get it, you know. And I try to keep her encouraged. Let her know she's loved. Before anybody else act like they love her, I love you. I'm not going to tell you wrong when I spaz out and go off on your asses, because I love you. That's it. Ain't no other way.
So, when it comes to parenting, when it comes to being a great mother, not to put nobody on blast or anything, but what do you see is a fatal mistake or flaw that you see with sometimes with folks rear their children, how they turn out a certain way?
They try to be their kids' friends. Like, I'm not your friend. Sometimes me and Ciaja, we have our spats. She hang up. I'm like, no, she ain't just hang up in my face. Hey man, you just hung up in my face. Oh no, the phone went dead, or no it didn't. So let me tell you something, don't ever hang up in my motherfucking face again in your life, because I'm not your friend. You know, I just have to let her know I'm not your friend. I will come where you at. Do not play with me. You know, it's a respect factor. I don't care what I said and how I said, just hold the phone. Because I couldn't do that. We didn't do that when we was young. I don't care if we was against them or what. You better not even move your lips and be on your head and be, no. And you know your parents wrong in line, but you better not. So it's like I was raised on that, so I kind of much do her the same way. And she has a lot of respect for me. You know, I don't ask her too much because I don't get in my child business. I try to let my child be her, because I feel like about lesson is a talk lesson. Well, I'm gonna keep on saving you. If I save you, you won't really know what it's like. Now, I'm not gonna never let you fall. You ain't gonna get too far down here, but I am gonna let you trip so you can see. Yeah, I told you. So, cause me telling you, it's like, oh Lord, she nagging. Oh, here she go. So when you do it, it's so bad she can't even call me and tell me. I just be like, yeah, I know. because I don't care what you do, it's gonna always come back to me. I'm out here in the streets. My friends are in the streets. They know that's Myeshia child. That's LaBree daughter. They watching, they telling, they picking up the phone. She don't even know it. They done already told on her. You ain't gotta tell me. They done told on you. I always tell people, you know, what's done in the dark gonna come to the light. I don't care when it come, it's gonna come. You're gonna look like an ass in the end. So it's just like, people just gotta keep it real as they can. Because you can't keep it real with everybody all the time. You're gonna be fake to somebody.
Exactly.
I just be real with myself, you know. I'd rather be real with myself. That's all I got at the end of the day.
Because you got to do what works best for you. Because at the end of the day, you want got to live with you. You want got to look in the mirror. And that's what I tell folks all the time. When I'm on stage and I do comedy, sometimes it be so raw, people can't understand it. But what
it be real. It's your truth.
Yeah. But I tell them, I say, look, if I feel like saying this, I know I'm going to hit at least 5 people here. And when I hit that 5, it's going to spread because people, it's going to make them be genuine with themselves. Like, I mean, hey, you know, I might talk about a dope fiend. It be people that got drug problems.
Exactly.
But they hiding it. They covering it up. And it might be something that's a little bit more in line. They might have like a mental issue. They might be in depression.
Yes,
and
mental health is real. And it's common in black people. And they don't even take the time out to, you know, go seek help or get meds. That don't mean you crazy. Why take street drugs when you can go get the real medicine that you need to get yourself together and cope and function? But people don't even have insurance out here. They not even life insurance. They not even thinking about that. I just told my mom today, you got life insurance, you know, because I know when I go, how I'm gonna go, it ain't gonna be in no pine box or no wooden box, so you're not gonna have to do no dinner plates for me. I made sure. So the thing is, like when my daddy left, he didn't leave me with nothing. So, but it's like when I leave, mine gonna be left with something. You know, my kids gonna be left with something. You know, it's different for me because I didn't have that. You know, I had a great father, but he just didn't. He didn't have nothing. He didn't think like that. My grandmother was a great woman. She thought like that. My grandma was big on credit. She was big on having your stuff together, being able to afford it. She was big on real estate. You know, she was good, you know, very nice and sweet woman. She cooked. We had breakfast every morning. I didn't know what it was like. My grandma got up and cooked boiled eggs, bacon, and grits every morning. The neighbors, my queen used to call and say, hey, give me some of them grits, bring me some grits and eggs out of the house. So, you know, my grandma, she was a great woman, man, and it's just like, she didn't get tired, you know, into her 80s. And still in her 80s, you couldn't even tell she had dementia because she would say the same stuff over and over to make it seem like she really knew what she was talking about, or she still had all her senses. That's how smart she was.
Now, we'll be failed to mention your little brother. Now, we had him on last season.
Okay.
Team Stats Keezy, for everybody who wondered.
Love you, baby.
So he, to me, he one of the top talents in this region. Not even in Houston, in the region. It's only a little small bit of time before he blow up. So kind of tell me how you feel about, because I know he come from up under you. Like, what was your force or what was your guidance like to get him the way he is today?
You know, we talked about that. Like I say, I'm kind of a hard critic, especially to the people I love too. And I love the way he rap. But I told him, I said, you got to get out of that inner voice. You know, that little bow wow. You know, he talked that inner voice. But when he on his outer voice, he's good. You know, you just, sometimes people have to find their vocal and find themselves as they grow. Their vocals change. And I just think he got out of that, you know, little bow wow stage. I always call it a little bow wow stage. His little inner voice to, you know, using different words, challenging himself, you know what I'm talking about, different topics. And I think he's pretty good, you know, as a lyricist and just our demeanor. He's not afraid of anything, got a good heart. He doesn't, you know, I just think overall he's listening. I like his last CD he had with John D. It jammed. Then they had a new CD, they had some songs coming out, G&B, you know. It's just like, I see it coming. It just has to get together, and you have to have that one person that's gonna make it right. You know what I'm saying? That right now things are kind of divided, and I don't like it, but it ain't too much I can do about it. Sometimes you have to bag up and let things come together, because it ain't nothing I can do by myself. I can't place it together by myself, you know?
Right.
So sometimes you just got to bag up and let people see that the chemistry was great. It wasn't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? We just got to put it back together, because if we come together as a whole, the money will be even better, you know?
Right. Because also, if I had to give any advice, like the best thing that I would say is get outside of this city.
Yes.
Start traveling. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, he on Instagram, he got many followers. If he was to go do things in Atlanta, or go do things on the East Coast, like Philly, New York, or whatever, it will happen more quickly.
It will pick up. And it's crazy. You don't get that same love from the people that you were raised with until you blow up. When you blow up, and then you come back, and then everybody want to come out and buy your tickets, when you didn't even have to buy my tickets. You could have just let me in the club, and I would have sung the songs. But it be like that. Sometimes you got to rub shoulders with different people who've already been there, that want to see somebody else make it. It's just like Houston, they like crab in the bucket. They do not want to see each other make it. It's like they think one thing they better than the other one. Really, it's all the same. What I used to like is when they first started off rapping, you have different artists. They will ask one artist to come, but that one artist will call the other artist and be like, hey, I got a show. All of us come together, you know, on that. I used to like that, because you get to hear everybody rap. People that I never even knew that really rap or heard them. I don't come to everybody's shows, but I know for sure I'm coming to my brother's show. When I come to my brother's show, I'm going to see T-Boy. I'm going to see D-Black. You know, I'm going to see other artists out there. And I'm like, okay, you know. So I enjoyed that. I like that. But since COVID, it kind of have died down. But I want to see that again.
Well, what I see is this. It's in all bits of industry. All bits of industry, you're going to have people that's going to nitpick one another, that's going to backbite one another. But at the end of the day, if you find you a good nucleus, y'all pool y'all money, y'all going to grow. I'll give you an example. It was some young ladies that was on the show probably about 2 weeks ago. Ratchet Tracy, Sherelle, Kalo, Lady Rico, Jay Cookie, Black Sheep. They all got together and they all did a show at Mr. A. Don't you know they sold out Mr. A? They had Mr. A's rocking. Mr. A's.
What do they do for them?
Comedy.
Okay. And they all came together, and all of them pretty much have different friends, and all. Yeah, I can see that. That's why I say when you pull together as a whole, you bring in different neighborhoods, different sides of towns, and family out.
And it made people recognize, because it was more established local comedians that was there. I wouldn't even call them local, but established comedians that was there that took notice. The men took notice. They sat back and they watched and they started looking. They say, damn, maybe we could do something like this. And guess what? They started getting bookings just off of what they did, because they showed strength that way. So that's my advice to anybody that's doing anything in the entertainment industry. Think outside the box. Sometimes when you want to hang in Houston, you put yourself in the box. Because see, me, Juneteenth weekend, I'll be in Atlanta. I'll be doing the Juneteenth Festival, the 1865 Fest. I went out there in March. I secured the spot on that festival, and they invited me to come from June the 19th through the 23rd. So going outside of my band to go do something different, then you also see the competition different. Then you raise your level.
It's younger competition out here, but what I did like is when I seen you on Monty video, I said, look, you can, okay. Look, comedy in there. I really like that. I enjoyed the video. I enjoyed seeing y'all together. Y'all both do comedy. You know, I like to see us come together and we out, you know, we doing the same thing, because it helps one another. It gives you a different perspective, and you like, okay, I can do it like this, or I can, you know what I'm saying? I don't care about people getting my ideas and doing the same thing as me. That never bothered me, because we're not gonna do it the same way anyways. You know, it might have been an idea you've been trying to do, but you just didn't do it. But now I done told you how to pull it off. Now you can pull your part off. You might have gave me some advice, and I'm like, shit, I can make mine better, or I can do something different, you know. So
But you know what it is too? Most times people are standoffish because they can't see themselves in you. Like they don't be around you enough to see it, right? So, okay. When I first started doing comedy here in Houston, Monty had came, he saw, and we put a link up then. But ever since then, we chop it up, this, that, and the other, and then we find out we got mutual acquaintances, friends, family, everything. Because we both from the same side of town.
I think I seen your comment when you said, when he said he was doing a video, you was like, where it's gonna be at? I'ma come or something.
Yeah.
I seen that.
Yeah.
And when I seen the next video, you was in there.
Yeah.
I said, come on, that's what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
Now pull up. I'm there.
Because, I mean, another brother on there, shout out to J Can, shout out to Smackwater, who was on the previous show. But J Can from Acres Home, him and I, we comedy brothers. He been on this show. I interviewed him at a pivotal time in his life. He blowing up. He all in LA. He doing things. And so, if you notice, it was only a few people that was there, but the few people that was there knew each other and rock with each other that way. So, I always say, like, when you find your nucleus, when you find people that you can
But
get
them
along
few
with,
people, you don't know who they know that's big people.
Yeah.
You know, so those few small people that you think is because it's only one or two, you never know who people know and who they rub shoulders with.
right? Because, see, that's the trip out, right? So, Monty, if you watching, you ain't know we were family, did you? Because I know you know he'll be from your side. So, but yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, that's why I always tell people, when you find out that a person real, rock with them.
Yeah.
Rock with them. And so I want to kind of dig into, number one, you say you fly. You fashion fall. Now, as we can see right now, you killing the game. So, ever since you was young, you was like this. Like, what was the things that you liked when you was young? What led you to that point to have that affinity toward fashion?
Well, it's more like my grandma always was like, you know, by 12 o'clock, you don't need to be in the bed with pajamas on, going outside with a bonnet on your head. You better not go, even if you're going to the corner store, you can't go with a bonnet on your head. So it's like you always gotta, when you step out, and it's not about name brand, it do not have to always be name brand. I like fashion. I don't care if it come from Target, Felix Perales, Fashion Nova, Amazon. I don't care. If I like it, I'm gonna order boutiques. I don't care. If I like it and I feel like it's gonna look good on me, I want it. I like colors. I'm into different. I like shirts that have meaning to them and say stuff. I like little purses that have sayings and just different, like lipstick purses. I like just different, you know. I don't know. It don't always have to be about name brand. No.
Cause see, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I used to be around y'all when y'all was younger, y'all the one brought me on this fashion sense. So shout out to the people that always be saying I'm fly. I get it from somewhere for a reason. Cause you couldn't have stuff with them. I remember when we was young, we always used to go to the Galleria, but I wouldn't dress properly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what? I say I'm had to get me some money. I'm had to come on with it. You know what I'm saying?
It was crazy because when I was younger, our neighbors was working for. They was in a wheelchair business. You know, I can talk about it now. So they was in a wheelchair business. So I worked for this company. It was Dr. Gottlieb, and every week, man, I was making so much money, like $3,000-$4,000 a week. So I didn't know what food stamps was back then. I didn't know what trying to get gift cards or trying to save. We was just going to the store and spend $1,000, $600. We making groceries. I'm just put it on the table. We go to K-Borg and I buy everybody a necklace. You know, I buy everybody jewelry. You know, we started off pretty much young, just out here, just, you know, just trying to be fashionable because we was young. We thought that's what it was. That's why I say I wish it was a little different, where I had somebody to structure me and be like, hey, maybe think about your career now instead of fashion or looking good, you know, because that will come along the way. You can look good at your job. You can dress casual. Then, you know, me working for Harris County, we used to have to dress up every day. So that was another thing that made me feel good. Getting up in the morning, dressing up, having to put on a little makeup, doing your little lipstick, it makes you feel good, you know. I think, you know, just getting up and putting on clothes, it just makes you feel beautiful.
Most definitely. Because I'll tell you part of it too. Because when I was growing up, I used to always be on the south side. And there always used to be a stigma about people that were from the north. And they would say that the north side wouldn't fly. So I always would try to beat out that stigma. Like, nah, I'm from the north. And I look good. You know what I'm saying?
Like we just wore Dickies and house shoes all the time.
Yeah, like they say y'all
like
dirty. They say y'all dirty. I said, no, we ain't. No, we ain't. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but what I can speak for, I'm like, nah, because back in the day, like polo, whatever heel figure, I was trying to do it.
Yeah.
So, man, we had a great discussion here. So, if you look back over your life, everything that good, bad, and different done happened, and you had to sum it up in 2 words, what would those 2 words be?
Great life. I'm happy, and I tell people, if I die today or tomorrow, I'm gonna go happy because I feel like I've done enough, or I've done what I wanted to do. I didn't hold back. If I wanted to do it, I'd do it. I can still ask you, hey, you think I should do this? And I'm gonna be like, call somebody, hey, get their opinion. I'm like, fuck it, I'm still gonna do it. I didn't got everybody's opinion, I'm still gonna do it. I just feel like you gotta live life because you never know when you're gonna go. I have seen people pass, and my daddy left me early, my grandmother, just different people that I have loved that have left, and it's just like, man, you better enjoy life because you just never know, and they all pass from different things, So in Casey passed young, by a tragic death. So, by high school kids. So I'm just like, I don't take things for granted, and I just live life, and I apologize a lot too. I get crazy sometimes, so I try to come back and apologize to people because I don't want people to feel no type of way about me, which I mean they probably would anyways, but I got it off my heart. I apologize if I did something wrong. I try to come back and apologize, but just keep on moving. That's it.
Myeshia, I want to thank you for coming and spending some time with us today and telling us your story, how you feel about things. I know you normally don't do this, so it was
very nervous.
I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. I appreciate you. Y'all follow me _Miss Why Not. My page is not open anymore, but I will accept you if it's a real page.
Most definitely, because that's what I'm about to ask you, how they can get in contact with you. So
follow me. You can call me. My number is everywhere, 832-755-7350. You want any memory pillows, any hair oil, anything that I have that that I do, call me.
All right, once again, thank you. Love.
Thank you for having me.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Now, what we normally do around this time when we close out the show, I leave with a brief note. Okay. So, what we did over the course of this show, we pretty much had a discussion about Myeshia's life, and the key term was the strength. So the strength was we took it all the way from her upbringing all the way up to now. Just like anybody, she done met trials and tribulations, but she done heard of them things and she done got to the next level. Like she told y'all, you got to raise your children the right way. You got to get your line up in order. And as you can see, she did this successfully. So what I want to tell my entire audience is this. Don't live for nobody else. You see people on social media, people jumping out here, they got Bentleys, they doing this, they doing that. You don't know what's going on in the background. Yes. Do what works for you. They had a young boy, Lil Meech, BMF son, Big Meech son. He got caught up, they say he had stole a Richard Mille watch for $250,000.
Yeah, I seen that. I could not believe it.
Now, you look at everything that they put on social media, you swear this boy a billionaire. You see all the show that's going on. So why are you entangling this? It's because, I don't want to come to a conclusion because I don't know his situation. I don't even know if it's real. But what I can derive from that is you trying to keep up with the Joneses. if you already got your path laid in front of you, you don't have to do nothing extra except who you are. Hell, you could walk in anywhere with a regular little watch and the people still gonna respect you. Don't do nothing that's gonna put yourself in harm's way so you can get the clout or get the adoration that you feel that people should give you. The most important thing about you is your heart, your spirit, and your principles. If you got a bad name, it don't matter if you got on a $250,000 watch. People still gonna call you trash.
I ain't fucking with you.
Exactly. And if you tell on folk, you might got a lot of money, and them people that might act like they want to have you around, but you're still a rat. But that's basically it. Man, we all about strength, loyalty, and respect. So thank y'all for tuning in. Tune in next week, we'll have a fresh new episode. You're now here with Ken Mills on Unbiased on Boss Up Houston Network. Y'all have a great evening.
Good night.
Hello family, Ken Mills here once again with World of Comedy 5 Entertainment. So to give you the idea of what Unbiased is, we always see things on social media and also in the world where we wonder what is the thought process behind these idiotic things that people do. We're going to give an honest, unbiased opinion. So with that being said, we're going to cover several different topics. These topics will start from mental health, addiction, finance, incarceration, relationships. We're going to be truly unbiased this season. So remember, tune in at 8 p.m. Check us out on Boss Up Houston Network.